Anime targeted towards the seinen crowd can include a number of other genres. The stories can be morally gray, romances are more pragmatic, action is more graphic, and the humor is more adult. The general way to spot a seinen series is to look for an older lead, a realistic art style, and a more serious story. One, in particular that we are discussing today, is about mature romance anime. Hey guys, it's Animan here, and welcome to the channel. Today we are counting down the top 10 best adult and mature anime. Before we start, be sure to subscribe to our channel, and press on the bell icon, and set us all to be notified about our latest videos. Coming in at number 10, we have Natsuyuki Rendezvous. The series has three main characters. First, there's a delicate flower named Roka, who owns a flower shop. She's the manager, but more importantly, the widow of the deceased husband of Atsushi. Then there's Hazuki, who has poor eyesight but knows a delicate flower when he sees one. As one might expect from the pilot episode, he is in love with the flower manager. Last but certainly not least is Atsushi Shimo. He is a ghost who has been haunting the flower shop, or more specifically, his wife for the past 3 years. Talk about stalking on a whole new level. Three main characters, two of them guys and one of them a gentle flower. What do we get? Well, by common anime logic, a love triangle, obviously. It's quite a peculiar love triangle too, especially with the given circumstances. Roka still grieves for the ghostly husband that has continued to haunt her for the past 3 years without her knowledge. Shimo is there, but unable to cope with his former wife either mentally or physically. Hazuki-kun is trying to get the attention of his dream girl, but can't seem to do so with his conflicted ideology. Love is so damn complicated. Number 9, we have Otona Joshi, No Anime Time. This anime is a set of 4 short stories that peer into the lives of Japanese women. This isn't a series that's full of bliss, but rather a crude, unpolished look at what life really is, and can be like. For some, it may be extremely touching and heartfelt. For others, it might seem uninteresting and boring. Having completed all 4 of the episodes myself, I would say that this series is deliberately intended for a more mature audience. It's a series that makes you look over your shoulder, wondering if you made the right choices. It's a series that makes you afraid of getting old. It's a series that makes you want to go home and tell your mom that you love her. Each episode has their own varying degree of earnestness and subtleties. Some of the stories come off as very disheartening, and others empowering. However, within each episode lies a lesson, using well-crafted symbolism, dialogue, and direction. It's as if you've been bestowed with a little bit of life's wisdom after each 20-minute segment. It's empowering, and it's beautiful. The art, animation, and sound is all well-crafted, all being somewhat different, yet fitting. But that's not what's really important here. It's not something you watch to be wowed by visuals. It's something you watch to be wowed by realism. At number 8, we have Itazura Na Kiss. The plot for Itazura Na Kiss is no different than your standard shoujo romance. A plain and stupid, but cute girl Kotoko has fallen in love and secretly pinned for school idol and uber-smart Naoki Iri. She finally gathers the courage to write him a love confession letter, but he flatly refuses to even accept or let alone read it, stating that he doesn't like stupid girls. Of course, in a plot twist that can only happen in shoujo, Kotoko's house is destroyed due to faulty construction, and she and her father are forced to move in with his old friend, who just happens to be Naoki's father. Hilarity and hijinks ensue. Despite the fairly non-groundbreaking premise, the story remains quite funny. Kotoko tries desperately to get her feelings across despite Naoki being cold, uninterested, and mean to her. Though some of it walks to the line of being unforgivable to my feminist brain, it never has some of the cruel or absolutely mean-spirited feeling as I am accustomed to seeing in this genre. But what really sets Itazura's story apart is the eventual payoff to the romance. Yes, I know this is going to be a shocking spoiler, but Kotoko and Naoki end up together. Oh my gosh, really? Well, before some of you get upset at me for revealing that, honestly, what did you expect? At number 7, we have Blue Spring Ride. Futaba Yoshioka is your average first year in high school who wishes to change herself and find new friends. She stumbles across her middle school crush, Ko Tanaka, who has changed his name to Ko Mabuchi. Shocked to find his personality completely changed, she starts testing her feelings for him, all in an attempt to find out what happened to his old self. The premise screams vanilla and generic all over the place, and is just as it looks. It is your average shoujo romance with a double, unrelated love triangle introduced later on. There is just nothing driving the romance forward, and it uses cheap gimmicks in an attempt to move it further. But it is really an uninteresting story once you get familiar with the characters. The main love triangle feels very artificial and is only there to make some progress, and the secondary love triangle isn't explored at all. The plot devices the anime introduced to kickstart an event are quickly forgotten. And in the end, nothing happens. It is extremely predictable from the very start and not engaging. However, for an anime that is entirely character-driven, plot shortcomings aren't as important as in other shows. At number 6, we have Golden Time. With the perfect and easy anime title, Golden Time, JC Stuff Studio has achieved something in their entire life. When I watched Golden Time anime, to be honest, I was amazed by its plot. Every episode is very interesting, and every episode you are going to enjoy it, if you have the same situation as like in this anime. The story is more original than the usual anime romance setup. First and foremost, it takes the usual setting from high school to college. As stated earlier, Golden Time takes place in college, following our main protagonist Tada Banri, and the roller coaster of drama that follows him. Now the first few episodes give off much more of a comedy vibe than a dramatic one, which may have turned a lot of people away from the show. But after Banri's past is revealed, and his relationship with Coco blossoms, the show kicks into full gear. Yes, in this anime, the main character actually ends up dating the girl. Well, I can't say which, by the way. If you want to find out, you need to watch the anime. At number 5, we have Snow White with the red hair. The story centers on a young woman named Shirayuki, who is well known for her work as a herbalist, and her hair is red. Nobody in her country of Tanburan has such red hair, and this makes her the center of unwanted attention. When the moronic Prince Raj falls in love with her and wants to make her his concubine, she refuses to let herself be subjected to a cruel fate. So she gives him the middle finger by cutting her hair and runs away to the next kingdom, Clarence, as she has nowhere else to go. While traversing through the forest, she finds herself befriending the crown prince of Clarence, Zen, who offers to let her into his kingdom to protect her from Raj. She isn't quite sure what his intentions are, but she does want to pay her debt to him. So she becomes a court herbalist in his castle. With this, her adventures in the Clarence kingdom begins. As the name of the show suggests, the show tends to give a feel of it being a Disney movie. It's charming, fuzzy, and cute to watch through. The story is definitely light and focuses more about the dynamics of the characters and how their relationships progress through the events that approach them. At number 4, we have Honey and Clover. This anime follows the lives of 5 fledgling artists and their journey through the exciting and simultaneously terrifying world that we know as college. Through the eyes of these 5 students and observe them growing, affected by the years of challenging experiences through which they have gained many cherished friendships and also come to know the agonies of unrequited love. Those of you who are in college and watching this are going to be stunned at the realism of this. It feels like these characters could very well be people around you, and the situations they're in could be things you or your friends are going through at this moment. I can definitely say without a doubt that this is the most inspirational and moving anime I've ever seen. At times there's that typical shoujo romance thing going on, but other than that, everything else is just too amazing for words. Also, the story is a bit plain at times, but I loved it nonetheless. It's very unique in its own ways. The way it creates drama, the way the relationship works all fit perfectly well into the storyline. It had a very calm atmosphere, yet there wasn't enough drama to keep you watching. I love it. I couldn't ask for it any other way. In third place, we have Nodame Cantabile. The plot is deep, yet not complicated enough to detract you from the main plot. An arrogant and talented college student with both ambition and passion chases his dream of being a conductor with the help of other young musicians, who are inspired by his talent and charm. The pace is just right. The story continues to push forward but gives you enough time to reflect and rejoice in the moment. It does not try to overpower the anime but lets the other elements like the music shine right through. The story is handled in such a mature, hard-hitting, ever so relatable way. A romantic, musically focused plot about ardor in and outside of a relationship. Nodame Cantabile is not just for instrumentalists, romantics, and music fans, but for doubters, dramatics, and anyone who has ever had a passion. It's a relatable series with realistic characters, thoughtful dialogue, and worldly themes of uncertainty, struggle, and infatuation. As enjoyable and funny as it is also heartbreaking and frank. It's well structured, wonderfully written, and superbly developed. Second, we have Spice and Wolf. This is a great lesson on never judge a book by its cover. That said, I wish they had a better cover. Spice and Wolf was marketed with a half-naked furry wolf girl. Like most people, I was repulsed by it at first sight. Little did I know, the seemingly shallow fanservice poster girl is one of the deepest characters in any anime ever. And the show is far better than the light novel is based on. Spice and Wolf doesn't have a grand story, but follows the motivations of its two main characters, Lawrence, a traveling merchant, and Hullo, an outcast deity traveling with him. This gives the show freedom to deeply invest into its arcs, and use them as an excellent form of character building. It also does something great. Leaves a lot unsaid, but does it so tastefully that it creates mystery and intrigue rather than frustration. Besides one of the characters being an outcast god, this is an incredibly low fantasy, low magic medieval drama, and I haven't seen anything quite like it in anime, and that I enjoy. And number 1 is Planetes. Planetes is an unconventional sci-fi series that portrays the vastness of space as a backdrop for the personal lives of ordinary people. People who may have been born on Earth but whose hopes and dreams lie amongst the stars. I feel I need to mention something that I think a lot of people have overlooked with this show. Planetes has romance. Quite a bit of romance, in fact. It's packed full of drama and action along with that too. So drama, action, and romance. What more could you ask for? Yeah, boobs, I know. Alright, now let's come back to the main topic. At first, the story would seem to be about the young woman Ai. While she remains an important character, as the show develops, we realize the story is really about the young man Hachimaki. As the series progresses, we learn more about the both of them, but especially Hachimaki, and see him fight against his personal issues with life and relationships. Here, we get to watch him grow as a person. While these two are the main focus of the show, they are surrounded by a colorful, supporting cast that makes episodes enjoyable. Overall, in spite of some great action scenes and an interesting subplot about a controversial space exploration mission, the show remains a very character-driven drama, with just enough action and comedy to provide some welcome, relief, and help things move along. And so with this, we end our video for the day. And before you go, if you're new, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to support me, become one of my Patreons. The link is in the description below. And as for now, I'll catch you later. See you in the next one.